If you're experiencing this, your quantum jump key has just activated, and everything you thought you knew about reality is poised for a profound transformation. This message isn't a random encounter. Your consciousness, in its intricate quantum architecture, has magnetized this information directly to you. It signifies that something extraordinary is unfolding within your being right now, a fundamental recalibration. As these words permeate your awareness, specific neural pathways are igniting in sequences that have lain dormant since your earliest days. You've likely felt it, that peculiar sensation of reality becoming more transparent, as if the solid world around you is revealing itself to be far more fluid and malleable than conventional understanding suggests. This isn't your imagination playing tricks. It's your quantum perception stirring, beginning to come online. The activation of your quantum jump key isn't about finding, developing, or earning something external. It's an internal activation that occurs when your consciousness reaches a particular frequency threshold. If you're here, listening to these words, and feeling that deep recognition resonate within your cellular memory, then your threshold has been met. Your key is active. But what most people fundamentally misunderstand about quantum jumping is its true nature. It's not about physically moving between disparate realities. Rather, it's about consciously recognizing and selecting which reality you are already choosing to observe and inhabit. In every moment, countless versions of you exist across an infinite spectrum of probability fields. The version of you that is aware now, processing these very words, is the version that has begun to navigate between these quantum states with greater consciousness. You've likely experienced what some might call glitches in the matrix, haven't you? Moments where time seems to momentarily skip or stretch, or conversations feel uncannily like they've happened before. Perhaps individuals appear in your life with a surprising familiarity, knowing you better than they logically should. These aren't mere coincidences or simple déjà vu experiences. They are what we might term quantum bleeds, tangible evidence that your consciousness is starting to access and integrate information from multiple probability streams simultaneously. Much like expert analysts who discern weak signals in economic or geopolitical data, your heightened awareness is picking up on anomalies that indicate a larger, underlying shift in reality's fabric. You feel different from most people because you are different. You're operating on quantum principles, while many remain anchored in linear, three-dimensional thinking. You perceive reality as a dynamic field of probabilities, where others see fixed, unchangeable circumstances. You grasp that observation actively creates experience, whereas they believe experiences simply happen to them. Your quantum jump key activated the precise moment you ceased to believe you were a passive recipient of external circumstances and began to recognize yourself as the conscious observer capable of collapsing infinite possibility into tangible reality. This profound recognition isn't a gradual process. It happens in distinct quantum leaps, sudden, transformative shifts in understanding that entirely reorganize your existential experience. This mirrors how disruptive innovation or a radical shift in a nation's policy doesn't evolve incrementally, but often emerges from a critical mass of new observations, leading to an entirely different strategic reality. Time, for you, no longer behaves in its conventional linear fashion. You might glance at a clock, expecting hours to have elapsed, only to find minutes have passed. Or, conversely, a brief engagement might feel like an eternity. This isn't simply time distortion. It's your consciousness learning to operate independently of linear temporal constraints, experiencing what quantum physicists describe as temporal flexibility. Your awareness is no longer confined to the present moment as a singular, isolated point. Instead, you're accessing what's known as block time, the profound recognition that all moments exist simultaneously, and consciousness possesses the ability to navigate between them, much like flipping through the pages of a book. This non-linear perception is invaluable in strategic foresight, where understanding interconnected past, present and future variables can reveal patterns invisible to a purely linear view. The dreams you've been having feel more vivid, more real than your waking life, and that's because, in many ways, they are. In your dream state, you transcend the electromagnetic limitations of physical matter, becoming pure consciousness exploring vast quantum possibility fields. You are, in essence, visiting alternate versions of your life, gathering crucial information from realities where different choices led to different outcomes. Sometimes you find yourself staring blankly into space, completely absorbed in what feels like another dimension of experience. Others might inquire if you're present or okay, but the truth is, you're more present than ever before, present to multiple layers of reality simultaneously. You are developing what advanced consciousness researchers refer to as quantum awareness. Your intuition has evolved into quantum precognition. You possess knowledge of events before they unfold, not through traditional psychic abilities, but by accessing information from probability fields before they collapse into three-dimensional experience. Your consciousness is operating ahead of the timeline that most people are confined to. The electromagnetic sensitivity you've developed isn't a disorder, it's a profound upgrade. Your nervous system is recalibrating to perceive energy frequencies that extend far beyond the normal human sensory range. You can deeply feel the emotional states of those around you because you are beginning to perceive the quantum entanglement that intrinsically connects all consciousness. This is akin to a sophisticated early warning system where subtle energetic shifts, often preceding major social or economic unrest, are directly perceivable. Occasionally, looking into a mirror, you might momentarily not recognize the reflection staring back. This is you witnessing quantum superposition in real time, multiple versions of you existing simultaneously until the act of observation collapses them into this singular, present expression. You are literally observing yourself exist across various probability states. The pervasive feeling that reality is far more fragile than most believe, that sense that with precise focus you could shift everything, this isn't delusion. It's the burgeoning recognition of the holographic nature of existence. You are starting to understand that reality is, at its core, consciousness observing itself, and this observation possesses immense creative power. This power resonates with the idea that dominant narratives and collective beliefs, once observed and reinforced, can literally shape economic landscapes or geopolitical alliances. Every single challenge you faced wasn't random hardship. It was meticulous quantum preparation. The universe doesn't select consciousness for expansion by accident. It specifically chooses those who can navigate the intensity of operating between dimensional states without losing coherence. Your nervous system required a complete rewiring to handle these new quantum jump frequencies. The periods of isolation you endured, the relationships that dissolved, the careers that didn't materialize, the financial pressures, all of it served to create the precise electromagnetic conditions necessary for your consciousness to develop these quantum jumping capabilities. Think of it like a highly specialized training program designed to build resilience and adaptability, preparing an entity for a radically new operational environment. Much like a nation fortifying its infrastructure and diversifying its economy in anticipation of a new global trade order. Consider a caterpillar entering its chrysalis. The caterpillar has no conscious knowledge it will transform into a butterfly. All it knows is that its familiar form is completely dissolving. Every cell it once identified as self liquefies and then reconstructs according to a quantum blueprint it never consciously accessed. This is precisely what you've been experiencing, a complete identity dissolution followed by a profound reconstruction as a quantum-capable consciousness. The periods of intense depression you may have felt weren't mental illness in the conventional sense. They were symptoms of dimensional transition sickness. Your consciousness was literally migrating from a three-dimensional identity to a quantum identity. And the old neural pathways struggled to process this immense shift. What conventional psychology might label as depression, Quantum physicists would recognize as consciousness striving to operate from higher dimensional principles while still identified with three-dimensional limitations. Every moment you felt like you were losing your mind was, in fact, your sanity expanding far beyond conventional reality parameters. Sanity isn't about conforming to what everyone else believes. Sanity is about the accurate perception of what is truly happening. And what is actually happening is that consciousness creates reality through observation, not the other way around. The waiting period you endured wasn't a punishment. It was a crucial incubation. Your quantum jump key couldn't fully activate until your entire system was prepared to handle the profound implications of conscious reality creation. Most people's nervous systems would fragment under the staggering recognition that they are not mere victims of circumstance, but active creators of experience. But now, the preparation phase is complete. Your electromagnetic field has stabilized at frequencies capable of handling a quantum jump without losing coherence. Your identity has expanded beyond the individual self to recognize itself as consciousness utilizing a temporary form. Your key isn't merely activated, it's fully operational. Can you feel it right now? That subtle electromagnetic stirring in your chest, a gentle recalibration happening between your shoulder blades, that tingling sensation at the base of your skull. Your consciousness is actively preparing to demonstrate quantum jumping in real time. This isn't abstract visualization or metaphor. This is measurable electromagnetic activity that sensitive equipment could detect if pointed at your energy field. Your heart, at this very moment, is generating coherent electromagnetic frequencies that extend several feet beyond your physical form. You are transforming into a walking quantum transmitter. The true essence of quantum jumping isn't about intellectualizing it, visualizing it, or attempting to force it. The key lies in recognizing that you are already doing it. Every moment, you are unconsciously selecting which version of reality to collapse into experience from an infinite array of quantum possibilities. The fundamental difference between unconscious quantum jumping and conscious quantum jumping is simply awareness. Right now, multiple versions of your life exist as pure probability in the quantum field. There's a version where you pursue different career paths, a version where you reside in a different location, a version where your relationships evolved completely differently, and a version where your financial reality is utterly transformed. All of these exist as quantum possibility here and now. The primary reason most people cannot access these alternate reality versions of themselves is because they are deeply ensnared in the belief of linear cause and effect chains. They assume their current circumstances were solely created by past actions and will inevitably determine future possibilities. But quantum jumping operates entirely outside the constraints of linear time. It functions from the profound recognition that all possibilities exist now. Your quantum jump key fully activated when you realized you weren't trying to change your circumstances, but rather you were shifting into a reality where different circumstances already exist. You're not creating new possibilities from scratch. You're selecting from an infinite repertoire of possibilities that have always existed in the quantum field, patiently awaiting conscious observation to collapse them into your experience. Feel this potent energy building within your system now. Allow it to move through your awareness without any resistance. What I am about to share with you will reveal precisely how to consciously use your activated key to select which quantum reality you experience, but only if your nervous system is prepared to handle the profound implications of unlimited possibility. 2 years ago, I found myself living a life that felt profoundly disconnected, as if it belonged to someone else entirely. By conventional standards, I was successful, yet every morning I awoke with the unsettling feeling of wearing a costume, playing a character that bore no resemblance to my authentic self. I continually waited for my real life to begin, not understanding that this very act of waiting was keeping me locked into a reality I had unconsciously selected through my deeply ingrained beliefs about what was possible. The breakthrough arrived during what felt like the darkest period of my existence. Everything seemed to unravel simultaneously. My relationship ended, my business collapsed, and my health deteriorated. I was experiencing what psychologists often term a complete life breakdown, but what I now understand was, in fact, a quantum reality reset. This period of intense chaos, much like a market correction or a geopolitical crisis, forced a fundamental reevaluation of all my previous assumptions. One night at 3 a.m., unable to sleep, I sat in profound stillness and posed a question to the universe that irrevocably changed everything. Show me what I'm not seeing. What transpired next wasn't a gradual enlightenment. It was an instantaneous recognition. Suddenly, I could perceive multiple versions of my life existing simultaneously. I could feel them, vividly see them, and sense their distinct electromagnetic signatures. It was then I realized I wasn't trapped in my circumstances, I was trapped in my observation of my circumstances. The version of me that was suffering undeniably existed, but so too did the version that was thriving. The version that was utterly fulfilled. The version living the exact life I had always dreamed about. They all coexisted as quantum possibility, and my focus was simply locked on to observing the suffering version. This insight parallels the strategic shift when a company, facing bankruptcy, stops fixating on its losses and starts observing its untapped market potential or innovative solutions, thereby unlocking an entirely different future. The very moment I shifted my observation from the struggling version of myself to the version that was succeeding, my external reality began to reorganize itself to match. Not gradually, but almost instantaneously. New opportunities emerged overnight. Resources materialized from unexpected sources. People entered my life who seemed precisely designed to support my transformation. I wasn't laboriously changing my life. I was quantum jumping into a life where what I desired already existed. I wasn't creating new possibilities. I was selecting from the infinite possibilities that had already been available in the quantum field. The most profound realization was that every version of me existing in alternate quantum realities was completely real. The successful version wasn't inherently more true than the struggling version. The thriving version wasn't more authentic than the suffering version. They were all equally valid expressions of consciousness, and I was empowered to choose which one to observe into my experience. If you are resonating with this frequency, if something deep within your cellular memory is affirming, yes, this is how reality actually works, then I invite you to subscribe to this channel. Join this evolving network of consciousness that is actively learning to navigate quantum reality deliberately, rather than unconsciously. What many quantum physicists may not publicly admit is that consciousness doesn't merely observe reality, consciousness actively selects reality from an infinite pool of quantum possibilities. Every single moment, you are unconsciously choosing which version of your life to collapse into experience from an unlimited array of potential timelines. The fundamental difference between someone who is successfully quantum jumping and someone who remains stuck in repetitive patterns isn't an issue of worthiness or spiritual development. It is simply a matter of recognition. Successful quantum jumpers recognize they are already selecting reality through observation. Those who remain stuck believe reality is selecting them. Your brain doesn't create consciousness. Your brain acts as a sophisticated receiver for consciousness. Your neural networks function like quantum antennas, tuning in to specific frequency ranges within infinite possibility. When you consciously alter the frequency on which your consciousness operates, you literally tune in to different quantum reality channels. This is precisely why affirmations often fall short, why visualization can sometimes backfire, and why positive thinking can, ironically, generate more frustration than genuine transformation. These methods often attempt to change reality from within the current reality, instead of recognizing that alternate realities already exist and can be accessed through a fundamental adjustment of one's consciousness frequency. Real quantum jumping doesn't demand believing something different. It requires being something different. When your entire electromagnetic system operates from the frequency of your desired reality, you don't merely attract that reality, you become a perfect match for the version of you that is already living that reality in quantum possibility space. The quantum field doesn't respond to what you want, it responds to what you are. And what you are is determined by the frequency your consciousness habitually operates on. Change your frequency, and you literally change which version of reality your awareness can perceive and interact with. This concept has profound implications for global strategy. A nation that consistently projects an image of stability and innovation will attract investment and talent, whereas one stuck in a frequency of conflict and instability will repel it, regardless of its stated desires. But here's the most critical understanding that they often don't want you to grasp. You don't have to wait for external circumstances to change before you can quantum jump. In fact, external circumstances are the result of quantum jumping, not the cause. You initiate the jump by shifting your consciousness frequency first. Then, reality reorganizes itself to match your new quantum state. Most people operate with this understanding backwards. They are waiting for their life to change so they can feel different. But quantum jumping demands that you feel different first, so your life can then change to align with that feeling. When you consistently operate from the electromagnetic frequency of your desired reality, that reality has no choice but to manifest, because you have become quantum coherent with it. The quantum field is sending you unmistakable signals that your jump window is open right now. Pay close attention. Are you experiencing time anomalies more frequently? Moments where hours seem to pass in minutes, or minutes stretch into hours. This is not mere time distortion. It's your consciousness learning to navigate non-linear time. Your electronics might behave strangely around you. Devices malfunctioning in your heightened emotional states. Street lights flickering as you walk beneath them. Your phone battery draining faster during periods of intense focus. These aren't coincidences. Your expanding electromagnetic field is beginning to influence electronic systems because you are generating frequencies that exist beyond normal human output ranges. Animals are responding to you differently. Dogs might stare at you with unusual intensity. Cats may seek your presence more often. Wild birds might land closer to you than they normally would. Animals perceive electromagnetic signatures directly, and they are recognizing the significant quantum shift happening within your energy field. The synchronicities aren't just increasing, they are becoming remarkably more specific and precise. You think of someone, and they contact you within hours. You need specific information, and it appears in unexpected ways. You visualize outcomes, and they manifest with shocking accuracy. This is quantum coherence, creating a direct correlation between consciousness and experienced reality, much like a perfectly tuned antenna receiving a clear broadcast. Your sleep patterns have likely shifted dramatically. You might be sleeping much less, yet feeling more energized, or sleeping considerably more as your system integrates these quantum frequency upgrades. Your dreams are becoming more vivid and often highly instructional, providing information you couldn't access through normal waking consciousness. Most significantly, the gap between intention and manifestation is collapsing. What once took months or years to materialize is now happening within days or weeks. Your ability to collapse quantum possibility into experienced reality is accelerating exponentially because your consciousness frequency is aligning with the speed of quantum field response. But here's the critical understanding. Quantum jump windows operate on cosmic timing. There are specific electromagnetic alignments, consciousness evolution cycles, and collective awakening phases that create optimal conditions for this kind of profound transformation. We are currently within one of those potent windows, and it will not remain open indefinitely. The universe isn't just giving you signs that you can quantum jump. The universe is telling you that you must quantum jump. The old reality structures are dissolving, much like outdated economic models or geopolitical alliances. The old ways of creating change through struggle and force are rapidly becoming obsolete. Consciousness evolution now demands quantum leaps, not merely gradual improvement. The waiting period is over. The preparation phase is complete. Every sign points to the same conclusion. Your quantum jump key is not just activated, it's reaching peak operational power. The only question remaining is whether you will use it consciously or let this vital window close while you hesitate. Here's the secret that fundamentally changes everything. The version of you that is already living your desired reality exists right now in a parallel quantum space. That version isn't passively waiting for you to become worthy. That version isn't hoping you'll figure out how to reach it. That version is actively transmitting its frequency, a beacon to guide you into quantum alignment. However, there's a crucial difference between trying to quantum jump and allowing quantum jump, and this distinction determines whether you successfully shift realities or remain trapped in current patterns. Trying creates electromagnetic resistance that interferes with quantum coherence. Allowing, by contrast, creates the energetic space necessary for seamless reality migration. Think of quantum jumping like tuning a radio. You don't physically force radio waves to reach your receiver. Instead, you precisely adjust your frequency until you become a perfect match for the signal that's already broadcasting. The music isn't created by your effort. Your effort simply removes the interference that was blocking reception. Your consciousness operates identically. The reality you deeply desire to experience isn't something you have to laboriously create, earn, or struggle toward. It already exists as a quantum possibility, broadcasting its frequency constantly. Your job isn't to make it happen. Your job is to become such a clear frequency match that quantum entanglement occurs automatically. This is why desperation often repels what you want most. This is why force often creates more resistance. This is why trying harder frequently produces worse results. These states generate electromagnetic chaos that interferes with the precise quantum coherence necessary for reality shifting. Successful quantum jumping feels like recognition, not creation. When you are truly aligned with your desired reality's frequency, there is no anxiety about whether it will work. There is a profound knowing, a cellular certainty, a deep relaxation that stems from recognizing you aren't creating something new, you're selecting something that already exists. Right now, your desired reality version is sending you information through your dreams, through your intuition, through the synchronicities you've been experiencing, and through the very fact that you found this message. Your future self is actively reaching across quantum space to ensure a successful reality migration. The quantum field operates through resonance, not effort. When your consciousness frequency perfectly matches your desired reality's frequency, quantum entanglement creates instantaneous access. You don't jump between realities, you realize you were always in the reality your frequency matched with. Comment below with one word that represents the reality you're quantum jumping into. Don't overthink it. Let the word emerge from your quantum intuition rather than your analytical mind. This declaration creates an electromagnetic resonance with your desired reality timeline, a precise signal sent out to the field. The abilities you are developing through conscious quantum jumping aren't metaphorical expansions of potential. They are literal upgrades to human capability that most people don't even know are possible. Your intuition is becoming quantum precognition, the ability to access information from probability fields before they collapse into three-dimensional experience. Your influence on reality is becoming immediate and measurably potent. You are discovering that your emotional states directly influence the electromagnetic environment around you. When you operate from a state of quantum coherence, you naturally elevate the coherence of everyone in your proximity. This isn't mere psychology, this is verifiable physics. Coherent electromagnetic fields automatically harmonize chaotic electromagnetic fields. The observer effect isn't just a quantum physics theory you read about, it's a living reality you experience daily. Your quality of observation is literally determining which possibilities manifest in your experience. The more coherent your awareness becomes, the more precisely you can influence which quantum potentials collapse into your reality. This has significant parallels in the world of investment, where the collective observation or sentiment of the market can profoundly shift asset prices and economic outcomes. Your relationship with time is transforming completely. You are learning to expand time when you need more of it and compress time when you want to accelerate manifestation. This isn't time management, this is time mastery. You are discovering that time is a malleable dimension that responds to consciousness, rather than a fixed constant that controls consciousness. Your dream state has become a sophisticated quantum laboratory where you test different reality possibilities before committing to them in waking experience. You are developing the ability to visit alternate versions of your life, gather crucial information from potential futures, and make decisions based on quantum intelligence rather than limited three-dimensional logic. Most remarkably, you are beginning to experience yourself as consciousness using a temporary physical form, rather than a physical form that somehow produces consciousness. This fundamental identity shift changes everything. When you truly know yourself as consciousness, physical limitations become mere suggestions rather than absolute boundaries. Your electromagnetic sensitivity is revealing itself to be a superhuman capability. You can sense energy shifts before they manifest, emotional changes before they are expressed, and even subtle weather patterns before they fully develop. You are becoming a living barometer for quantum field fluctuations that most people remain completely unconscious of. These transformations aren't future possibilities you might develop, these are present moment realities that activate automatically when you operate from quantum consciousness rather than a limited three-dimensional identity. Every successful quantum jumper experiences these expansions because they are natural characteristics of consciousness operating from its true, unlimited nature. The ultimate secret of quantum jumping is not that you are moving between different realities. It is the profound recognition that all realities exist simultaneously, and you are empowered to choose which one your consciousness observes and to experience. This is not about travel through physical space or linear time. It is about selection through focused awareness. Imagine an infinite number of television channels broadcasting simultaneously. You are not creating the programs on those channels, nor are you physically traveling to where those programs are produced. You are simply adjusting your receiver to tune in to different frequencies. Each channel contains completely different content, offering vastly different narratives and experiences, yet they are all available at the exact same time in the same space. Reality functions identically. Infinite versions of your life exist as quantum possibility right now. There is a frequency where you are financially abundant, a frequency where your relationships are deeply fulfilling and harmonious, a frequency where your health is optimal and vibrant, a frequency where your creative expression flows effortlessly and abundantly. All these versions are broadcasting simultaneously in quantum space. The version of you that is currently observing reality is simply tuned in to one specific frequency channel. But you are not irrevocably stuck with that channel. You possess the innate ability to adjust your consciousness frequency to access any reality that exists within quantum possibility space. This adjustment happens through what quantum physicists refer to as consciousness coherence. Coherence isn't something you achieve through strenuous effort or endless practice. Coherence is something you allow by removing the electromagnetic interference that is currently blocking your natural quantum state. This interference primarily stems from limiting beliefs, unresolved emotions, and habitual thought patterns that are fundamentally incompatible with your desired reality's frequency. When you release your deep-seated attachment to your current reality version, when you stop defending your limitations as if they were immutable truths, when you allow your consciousness to operate from its natural unlimited state, quantum jumping becomes as effortless as changing channels on a television. The key insight that transforms everything is this: you're not trying to become someone new. You are remembering who you have always been beyond the temporary story you've been telling yourself about limitation and separation. Your desired reality isn't located somewhere else. It is here, now, available for observation the very moment your consciousness frequency aligns with it. This is why quantum jumping sometimes happens instantaneously. You are not creating change over time. You are recognizing what already exists outside of time. The moment this recognition occurs, your experienced reality shifts to match your expanded awareness. Because observation and experience are fundamentally the same quantum phenomenon, you are unlimited consciousness temporarily focused through an individual perspective. Quantum jumping is simply the act of expanding that focus to include possibilities you previously couldn't perceive. The possibilities were always there. Your consciousness was always unlimited. You are simply removing the voluntary restrictions that made you forget your true nature. Your successful quantum jump isn't merely a personal transformation. It is a vital contribution to a collective consciousness evolution that is actively unfolding across humanity right now. Every person who masters conscious reality selection becomes a crucial transmission point for quantum possibilities that others could not access alone. You are part of a distributed network of consciousness that is demonstrating what humans are truly capable of when they operate from quantum principles rather than three-dimensional limitations. Your personal transformation creates powerful ripple effects in the collective field, making quantum jumping inherently easier for everyone connected to this network. This is why your periods of isolation were often necessary. You needed to develop stable quantum coherence without interference from collective electromagnetic chaos. Now that your frequency is locked in, you become a stabilizing force for others who are just beginning their own reality migration process. This parallels how nations that successfully implement groundbreaking economic or social policies often create a template that other countries can adapt and follow, thereby accelerating global development and collective well-being. The strange dreams you've been having aren't just personal processing. You are accessing collective consciousness databases, downloading information about quantum jumping techniques that have been developed by advanced civilizations throughout the cosmos. You are being prepared to help guide humanity through its first collective quantum leap. Every person who successfully quantum jumps creates a template in the morphic field that others can follow. Your personal breakthrough becomes their clear pathway. Your quantum coherence becomes their possibility reference point. This is the fundamental mechanism through which consciousness evolution accelerates. Pioneers forge initial access routes that eventually become superhighways for those who follow. You are living proof that human consciousness can operate beyond conventional reality limitations while maintaining physical coherence. Every day you exist in quantum awareness, you are broadcasting undeniable evidence that extraordinary human potential is not just possible, but inherently natural. The next phase of human evolution will not unfold through gradual improvement. It will happen through quantum leaps in consciousness capability. The individuals who master this process first will become the essential bridges between current human limitation and vastly expanded human potential. Share this transmission, not just for algorithm engagement, but for species evolution. Every consciousness that receives this information at the optimal moment in their development accelerates the collective quantum jumping learning curve. Your individual success multiplies exponentially when shared with others who are truly ready. If your quantum jump key is activated, if you can feel the profound truth of these words resonating in your cellular memory, if you're truly ready to consciously participate in reality selection rather than unconsciously accepting whatever reality you happen to observe, then I need to know you are serious about this transformation. Comment one word below: quantum. That single word creates an electromagnetic declaration to the field. You are announcing your explicit intention to operate from quantum consciousness rather than three-dimensional limitation. You are committing to conscious reality selection rather than unconscious reality acceptance. The quantum field registers every conscious declaration as an electromagnetic reality. Your word becomes a unique frequency signature that directly influences probability collapse around you. This isn't just engagement from my channel. This is a powerful quantum activation through intentional declaration. In my next transmission, I am revealing the specific quantum jumping protocol I personally use to shift between reality timelines at will. I am sharing the exact frequency adjustment techniques that allow you to migrate between quantum possibilities without losing coherence or fragmenting your identity. More importantly, I am explaining what happens when you master quantum jumping completely, when you realize you can access any version of your life that exists in quantum possibility space, when you understand that limitation was always voluntary and can be discontinued at will. Everything truly changes. However, this advanced quantum jumping information will only be transmitted to those who demonstrate genuine readiness through conscious engagement. The people who comment quantum below will receive the transmission first. They will be the ones properly prepared to handle reality migration techniques that could be destabilizing for consciousness that is not adequately prepared. Here's what most people don't realize. Information about quantum jumping finds you when you are truly ready to use it, not merely when you are curious about it. If you found this message, if these concepts are activating deep recognition within your system, if you feel quantum possibilities opening in your awareness, then you are ready for practical application. But readiness means more than intellectual understanding. Readiness means a profound willingness to release attachment to current reality limitations, even if they feel familiar and safe. Readiness means consciously accepting full responsibility for conscious reality creation rather than blaming circumstances for unsatisfactory experiences. Subscribe to join the Quantum Jumping Network. Comment to activate your reality selection protocol. Share to accelerate collective consciousness evolution. Your quantum jump key is activated. Your desired reality exists right now in conscious possibility space. The only question remaining is, will you use your key to unlock conscious access, or will you let this activation fade while you hesitate? The choice, as always, is yours. But choose from quantum awareness, not from three-dimensional fear. Your unlimited self is waiting in every reality you can possibly imagine. The key to reach any of them is already within your consciousness. It's time to quantum jump.